Hello, I'm Dan Cook with Bone Zone, and welcome to another edition of Ortho Innovators. Thanks to our friends at Precision Medical Technologies for sponsoring this episode. Today I'm excited to be joined by Lauren Ardito, Director of Product Management at Restore 3D. Restore 3D is leading the charge in personalized 3D printed orthopedic implants, and in December announced the successful completion of the first cases involving the iTotal Identity Porous, fully personalized total knee replacement system. The system received FDA clearance in April and is the first fully personalized cementless total knee replacement offering within the Identity platform. Hey, Lauren, thanks for joining me today. I'm really excited to talk to you.
Thanks so much for having me.
So tell me, what was the original design vision behind the Identity Porous knee?
Yeah, so when you think about the value that the identity system brings, it's really in this cutting edge patient specific technology where we're taking a CT scan, recreating their anatomy and making an implant that's designed just for them. With the rise of cementless indications with younger, more active patients getting total knee replacement, it seemed like a perfect marriage for a patient specific implant system to be cementless, to have perfect coverage of your tibial plateau without any rotational compromises, to really give you a good solid fixation. And then with the Conformis acquisition of Restore 3D, it made even more sense because Restore 3D's bread and butter really is their title technology porosity. So it was a perfect marriage of the technologies of the two companies.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the younger patients might be seeking out knee replacements. Is that the clinical problem you were hoping to address, or the unmet clinical need, and how does that cementless component and the design of the system in general, address the needs of those patients?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're younger, you're expecting to have your knee replacement for 20, 30 years before you need any replacement, knock on wood, ideally, best case scenario. So if you're removing the cement, that's just one less area of potential failure between your implant and the bone. So you're really making sure that you have as solid of an implant as possible to last you as long as possible.
Great. And your company's really innovative in terms of 3D printing design. How did that factor into the design features of the porous Identity Porous, and how is additive manufacturing contributing to the performance of the implant that traditional manufacturing just can't do?
Yeah, sure. First, it's a lot more scalable to be 3D printing patient-specific implants. In the past, Conformis had other manufacturing methods, and that was kind of a bigger struggle of the company in terms of how to have a scalable product that is viable long-term when you're not 3D printing something that's so patient-specific. And then on the design side, it really allows us to unlock some unique features. For example, on the tibia side, we have peripheral tacks that provide that initial fixation of the tibia while the bone is ingrowing. And because it's totally patient specific, those tacks are as well. So we can optimize the location of them, looking at the CT scan, making sure we're getting as much of a stable implant as possible.
Gotcha. And, along those design features, the lattice structures, the porous architectures, how does that impact the implant's, overall fixation and load transfer? I know those are important concepts in knee replacement design.
Yeah, so the title technology is a little bit different than I think your typical 3D printed structure on a lot of total knees that are available today. Most companies are using a 3D printed structure that is meant to replicate cancellous bones. It's a little bit random in its pore structure in the way that it works. Restore 3D was really founded on the idea coming out of Duke research to create a better cementless fixation and a better porosity that has better ingrowth, better pull-out strength, and can really be adaptable to a bunch of different indications. So that's where they came up with title technology, which is much more of a geometric, kind of intentionally designed pore structure compared to that kind of random cancellous structure that you'll see elsewhere.
Gotcha. And, in working on the design and the project overall, what were some of the biggest engineering challenges your team had to overcome, in terms of ensuring consistency and quality across, patient-specific device.
Yeah, definitely a unique challenge for patient-specific devices is just the accuracy that's required in the manufacturing. If you're making 100,000 off-the-shelf sizes, you have the ability to pick and choose the implants that best fit your quality specifications. You don't have to inspect every single component individually and can have a little bit more of a kind of standard manufacturing process, I guess you could say, versus if you're doing a patient-specific implant, every single factor of your manufacturing process needs to be dialed in. You're making one implant for one patient. So you really need to make sure that your processes are dialed in and accurate.
Gotcha. And you guys are spearheading the digital to physical workflow. And tell me about that process, how it works, and is AI playing a role in it? There's a lot of interest in that throughout orthopedics. Please, share any insights you might have in terms of how you apply that technology to the process.
Yeah, absolutely. AI plays a role. The way our process works in general is it starts with the CT scan that gets converted to a 3D model. And then from there, the implants and the instrumentation are designed from that 3D model. We have done a lot of work in AI in terms of improving the timing of all of those processes. So we have a very AI-driven segmentation process of the CT scan and of the subsequent manufacturing steps. Looking ahead, we're trying to push the boundaries of where we can take AI even further. We have this huge pool of patient-specific implants that we've amassed over the years in all these CT scans. So we're working on kind of a complete AI analysis project looking at how can we extract data from all these CT scans and look ahead to the next generation of orthopedics.
Great. And just how do you see the porous identity influencing the future of total knee replacement in general, perhaps, and also just your company's overall mission?
I think it's a really exciting first step in terms of first official product launch of the Conformis and Restore 3D partnership. So really influential in the future of our company in that way. In orthopedics and medicine in general, you see this tend more and more towards personalization. A lot of companies are approaching personalization of the surgical technique side in terms of robotics, just because it is complicated to make patient-specific implants, especially if you don't have that expertise in-house. So we could just see the identity system just being a part of that personalization story that the orthopedic market is advancing towards.
Yeah, and along those lines, what excites you about the technology in terms of patient-specific designs? 5 years from now down the road, just crystal ball it for me. What are you really looking forward to working on?
Yeah, I mean, that's where really taking all of that data that we have and seeing if there's something unique we can learn as we have such a huge data set of different varieties of patient anatomy to create a next generation system and solution that better meets patients' needs than what's out there today.
Great. Well, we'll leave it there. Lauren, thank you so much for joining me and appreciate it. Appreciate your time and insights.
Of course. Thank you for having me.